I'll just ask, how did this project start for you?
I began writing it in grad school.
Okay.
I was taking a film class, and I happened to come across this, I say article, it wasn't a physical article. You know, we'd be on the internets. And this wild story about this black woman who was held against her will in a mental health institution for 3 days because when she went to recover her impounded vehicle, they refused to believe that she owned this BMW. And it was kind of insane to me. I was like, okay, no pun intended, obviously, that her sanity was questioned because she was something other than what they thought she should be as a black woman.
Right.
And the fact that her agency, the limited agency that we already have, could be taken away even further. 3 days. And she did wind up suing the hospital, but because I think they ruled, because the mental health professionals, they diagnosed her bipolar. And they're like, well, they have to know better than she does. So this was all warranted.
Interesting.
So that was the seed of the idea, and it really blew my mind. But at the same time didn't, because often I feel made, I can only speak about me specifically, but I know that other black people and black women do feel like we're made to feel insane. That racism, because you can't touch it, feel it, and it's not necessarily tangible in a way that we are imagining it, that it's something in our heads, it's something just to get over. And so that compounded with this moment of reading this story about this woman who was not taken seriously and stripped away of her rights. That was the seed of it. Okay. And I'm a big sci-fi fantasy nerd. I don't like the real world. I deal with real world issues, but I always like pushing it a bit further. Okay. And hence how Missing Rhythms eventually came to be.
Okay. And so you write the script, and how do you get the you write it I guess in mind thinking that you'll star in it?
Actually, I did not.
Oh, really? Okay.
The thing is, I did start off acting 1,000 million years ago, and I got really disenchanted with it, though, because a lot of the roles that I was going up for, I found very stereotypical. The roles that you could find, because at the time there weren't that many. I still don't think there are that many, but it wasn't as nuanced and as imaginative as I would love to be. Right. It's like, where are the sci-fi stories for us? Where are the fantasy stories for us? The thrillers and the horrors where we're not just the sidekicks, where we're not just, the best friend that goes, yuck, right? Yeah. And so I pivoted to writing. Okay. And the more that I was writing, the more I was like, I can't do the business of acting again. Audition. Going out there, putting your heart out, and to go, oh, okay, you don't like me, because you can only be yourself, right? Of course. What you bring to the table is what you bring to the table. And I've been on the other side of the table. So sometimes it has nothing to do with the person's talent, right? It's just that they might not be right for that part. And I really love the agency I have for writing. So I had no intention. But Regina, the director, she first asked me because she just wanted to produce it. And so she's like, oh, do you want to direct it? And I was like, no, I've never directed before. And it's like, She's like, well, what about acting it? And I was like, I guess that's part of the reason why I started writing as well, to write the stories that I would want to be in. Of course. So I said, for craps and giggles, sure. Run towards what you're terrified of, right? Because when I was acting, it was mostly theater. And I'm actually first and foremost a playwright. So this is the first film script that I've had produced. So I was like, you know what? Cool. Because, in theater, you're like, ah! And then for film, I was like, oh, I have to be this. And I kept telling her the whole time, I was like, don't blow smoke up my butt. If I look crazy and if I'm not doing well, please tell me, right? I don't want this to be a vanity project at all. And so she was great. She made me feel really comfortable and safe. And she really created such a great environment on set, such a loving environment and supportive environment. We didn't have any drama besides the drama that was, being filmed.
Being portrayed, of course.
Yeah.
And can you tell me about your history with Regina? Have you guys worked together before? How did you begin collaborating?
So I met Regina, again, while I was in grad school. She's also an actress. Okay. And so she came to do a reading of a play of mine. And after the play, she's like, I love your writing. She's like, I also produce at my own production company. Do you have any films, any short films or features? was like, well, I did just write a short for my school, grad school, because we met while I was still in school. Obviously, I just said that. And she's like, cool. And I sent it to her, not thinking anything of it. She's like, I love it. Let's talk. I want to produce it. And this was like 2019. And then, the time happened, the pandemic. And so that kind of went on the back burner. But she's like, no, I haven't forgotten about it. We're going to do it. And I didn't allow myself necessarily to get excited about it. I'm not saying that I didn't believe that it would happen and that she would try to make it happen. But it was one of those things of just like, it's the whole new world in a sense for me. Sure. So I'm just going to take it as it goes. But yeah, so that started our collaboration. And I'm sure that this project is not the end of it.
Right.
When you find really good people to work with, and not just to work with, she's just a great person. Okay. And we connect on our shared faith in God. And that set, like, I'm just blessed. Because I got emotional. We've been, in a lot of festivals, and I got like for a while though. At first, when I would watch the film, I'd be like, I don't like how I look. This is crazy, and I couldn't enjoy it because I was too busy with the ego of like the actor part of it. And when I finally was able to sit back and just look at it in its totality, I was just like, I'm so blessed that this happened, and I know how hard it is. And maybe because I wasn't on the producing side of it, so I probably got to live life a lot easier than most. But I was just like, this is, it's a great opportunity, and it was a wonderful project,
Yeah. All right, well then can you tell me, is there something you learned about yourself as an artist or about the filmmaking process while making this piece?
I don't know if learned is the word.
Okay.
I think that it was confirmed for me and reinforced for me.
What was?
My vocation as an artist.
Great.
And that this is what I'm meant to do. Okay. I've always said, because I also teach, and so I teach playwriting, and I'm also around, kids who want to act, and I'm like, if you can't imagine yourself doing anything else, that's the only way that you should do this, or else do that other thing. And I just know that I'm meant to do this, and the stories that I tell are resonating with people. Obviously, we're here, and also not just resonating with people. I do it because I need to tell certain stories.
Right.
I want to explore certain things, and I want to represent lots of different people. Like we're telling human stories, right?
Of course. Right. Cool. Any questions from our audience members here? Yes, please.
When you're doing the tapping, is that reminiscent of back in the slave days when they used to tap? Is that from there? Like when they were communicating tapping with each other?
It wasn't. It was more of, I was thinking about core memories that we have as kids, right? And we used to do a lot of hand clapping on, school playgrounds. And so it's just one of those things to tap into. That's how I was as a child, like when you're still creating your identity, right? That's how it started. But yes, but I mean, the thing is, like, rhythm is intrinsic, right? In our blood to a certain extent, and how, like you brought up, when we were enslaved and trying to get those codes and get out. So yeah.
Yeah. In the future, say yes. You'll sound really smart.
Yes. I know. The thing is, people will come up with things like, yeah, did you mean da 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 da?
Right, sure.
I need to start going,
yes.
I'm glad that you cottoned on.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am hoping that there will be an addition where we can see what happens in the situation, or the stimulation process. That in my mind, I'm like, that in the blue door, what's going on behind it? So what are the odds of you developing that aspect of your short film?
I've been asked lots if this is a proof of concept. I would love to write a feature, but at the same time, I think I've been in this, like, I want joy. So I've been writing a play with music that's all about joy, and then me going to, like, having to go back to this dark place. I don't know. I believe it will happen. I think
certainly should. If you can stomach the subject matter.
I think I can. I think I just needed a little bit of space, but I definitely see there's too many people that have come up and are like, yes, so it needs to happen.
Great.
You'll find out what's behind the blue door when I find out too.
Any other questions? Yep, go ahead.
Did you have a very concrete plan of how you were going to do sound design, since the rhythm was so intrinsic to the film itself?
No, it was something that we actually we got a movement choreographer in, and together we kind of just devised what that rhythm would be and how it would be passed and what it would sound like. At one point, we had a whole I won't say West Side Story, but we had a whole dance break situation happening, and then we're like, yes, we need to pull that back. So yeah. I didn't have a concrete. I was like, I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to figure it out. And we figured it out.
That's great. And last question here?
Yeah, okay. So on the topic of racism, usually you see that kind of in a documentary form. And here you're using kind of a sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Was that because you just enjoy sci-fi, or was it otherwise intentional that you wanted to show it in sci-fi?
I love sci-fi, so I intentionally made it kind of in that realm. What's so funny is, I guess at first I didn't even think sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I thought it was in. 'Cause sometimes, when I write, I don't necessarily think genre. I just go, I want to talk about this. How can I push it beyond where we are? If that makes any sense. I'm like, how am I going to get into this world? Mm-hmm. What world am I going to create? I'm a world builder. So I always go, this is what I want to talk about. I have the seed of an idea. What world is going to live in? Right?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to contain? What's my end? What's my different way of telling the story?
Okay.
Yeah. So then it became, I guess, sci-fi. Some people are like horror. Some people would say it was a documentary, like Get Out. Sorry. No, I think it's only Brooke. Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank
and thank you to all the filmmakers.